wow. Ah, c'est ça.
Hello and welcome to Focus on Liberia. My name is Gbaa. We are broadcasting from Atlanta, Georgia. Tonight we're going to be talking about the history and culture of the Bassa ethnic group and their contribution to Liberia. This is in continuation of our ethnic group series where we highlight various ethnic groups in the Republic of Liberia. With me tonight to discuss the Bassa ethnic group, I have Bishop Dr. Amos W. Gbaa. Bishop, welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Thank you very much.
Bishop Gbaa is our Bassa historian. He is a bishop, of course. He's a church planter. He's been an evangelist, a Bible teacher, a Bassa translator. He has planted 18 churches in Liberia, in Ghana, and also the USA. He's been pastor for over 40 years. Bishop, it's a pleasure having you tonight in studio.
Good.
All right. And we want to say Bishop lived in Johnson City, Tennessee. He was kind enough, through the help of some of our colleagues, to bring him here in studio. And we're going to be discussing the Bassa ethnic group, the history, the culture of this group, and their contribution to Liberia. Bishop, I want to give you the first minute to just summarize for us the history, the culture of the Bassa people.
Thank you very much for the opportunity you give me and to invite me here on your program. I'm very excited and I really appreciate that. Okay. And the first thing I want to start with is the Bassa people in Liberia. Who are they? Who are the Bassa people in Liberia? And I know you know who you are when you are a Bassa person, but I just want to
Look at the camera.
oh this.
Yes.
I try to look. Yeah, sorry. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I say I want to begin with the Bassa people. Who are they in Liberia? I know that when you are a Bassa man, you know who you are, and maybe you wonder why I want to talk about who are the Bassa people. But I want us to go into details. Some of us were Bassa, and we have Bassa parents, but we don't know exactly where we come from. The Bassa people of Liberia are a West African ethnic group, primarily found in the central coastal regions. They live in Grand Bassa County, Gbaa County, Riverside County, Maserati County, etc. They are the large ethnic group in the capital city of Liberia, which is Monrovia. And they are also, with the overall population, they are the second largest group in Liberia after the Pele people. And those are the Bassa people we are talking about. The Bassa people speak the language Bassa. And the Bassa is a Kru language that belongs to the Niger-Congo family of languages. They had their own pictographic writing system, but it went out of use in 19th century and was rediscovered among the slaves of the Brazil. And then the Bassa people have an origin. They are people who likely left Egypt in early medieval era and migrated south, then west, sometime after the collapse of Bassa emperor and the invasion of the Persian in 6th century. That's where we come from Egypt. They come to the south, and then the north, and then they come through some African countries like Nigeria, Togo, Cameroon, etc. Now the name Bassa was called Basso Nyobe. That's a weird name. And in Bassa means Father Stone's people. Father Stone's people. But the European had problem. It was difficult to pronounce the name, the whole phrase, so they just make it short and say Bassa, and that's how we got the Bassa name. And from that time, we have been called Bassa all the time. So the Bassa people that were sold into slavery went to live in Brazil and the Indies, the West Indies. While they were there, they tried to practice their tradition, communication and whatever when they were in slavery, until one Dr. Lewis met the group, and got the information about how they communicate with one another. So when he came to Liberia, he developed a character. As I said the last time, the communication derived from a society from the Bassa people that they call in the Zoo Bush. There where they practice how to communicate with one another. And they use the leaf to be their papers, and then their tick to be the pen to write with. So a Bassa man will chew on a leaf and drop it at the intersection of the road for his girlfriend or his friend or whoever he want the letter to go to. He will pick up that leaf and look at it and know exactly what that person is saying. Like if you wrote a letter to your friend and give it in the post, send it in the post office, you will look at it and read it. That's how they used to do. So the man who was a professional, or professor rather, who used to teach is called Diura. And he used to teach the people in the town. But something happened is the chief hair wife saw the communication and enjoyed it and wanted to learn it too. So when Diura taught the lady, the chief got mad when people went and reported it and sold him into slavery. Those are the beginning of the communication. But so let me go back to the man who brought a character, who developed it into character. The thief man is Dr. Louis. His full name is Furo Lavin Louis. When he came to Liberia, he developed this and then organized an institution, a Bassa institution, and used to teach the Bassa people. That's why the older folks were able to read and write the Bassa. But the Roman script has largely replaced the vibe script in publications. However, the vibe script is still strong and still respected.
Right. And Bishop will come to the the Bassa script.
Yes.
I want us to still go back to the history. I know you said the origin is they came from around Egypt and all that. So how they got into Liberia or present-day Liberia?
Okay, as I said, they come from country to country, and then the Bassa unwritten history says that these guys were traveling on foot, and they have their luggage. The luggage they had was what we call kinya. You know, they took the palm branches and make a kinya, put their foodstuffs in there and their things. Then when they came to Buchanan, there's a little creek in Buchanan called Gbaa. Okay, when they got to that place, they decided to rest and put all their things down. While they were resting, they noticed that the kinya that they brought had been spoiled. It's rotten, it cannot be carried anymore. So when they look at it, they say, oh, in Bassa, they say, Gbaa. So our kinyas are rotten, it's spoiled, it cannot be used anymore. And from that time, they gave the name Buchanan Gbaa. So Gbaa means the kinya have been rotten, and that's how they got there.
Oh wow! So Buchanan Gbaa is that's Buchanan.
Yes.
Most of us use it to refer to the entire Bassa people. So it shouldn't be that way.
Well, that people consider, that the Bassa people consider it to be them, but not all the different Bassa tribes that come from different country.
Okay, so we got Bassa in Riverside, Bassa in Montserrat, in Margibi, in Grand Bassa. Do they have names that you give to the different subgroups, or that's the same? It's just Bassa?
No. We have about 8 different names given to 8 different subgroups.
What are they?
Okay, they start from the Mamban Bassa because they were well known before. They from Montserrat County. Then after the Mamban Bassa, when you're coming from Monrovia going to Buchanan, on the highway there's a place called, there's another group of Bassa people from number 2. And these number 2 Bassa, they call them the Wembakon Bassa. And then you come to Buchanan all the way to number 3 district, they call them the Central Bassa. And then you go to Riverside, they call it Riverside Bassa. Then we have in number 4 district, we got the Gbaa Bassa, they got the Double Bassa, and they got the Bassa. Bassa is where I come from. So these people, they speak the Bassa, but I mean, they have different kind of pronunciation for different things.
Right. Right. It's always the case as people move. They have this variation in sometimes the pronunciation. So before coming to Liberia, the Bassa people, I know they will have a way of governance. They will have education, and they have maybe kings and all that. Discuss with me the governance of among the Bassa people.
Okay, the Bassa people when they established in Liberia, they have their own government. Each village has a chief. They have the higher authority is called the paramount chief. But during those days, they called a king. They had a leader for the larger governmental group is called king. And they don't used to know about president and all that, but it's king. That's why you go to, if you go into Liberia, from Monrovia to Liberia, there's a town there called Gbaa. And that Gbaa was one of the Bassa chief that settled there. And then from the king, so now we call the king paramount chief, which is the head of the governmental group. Then from paramount chief, you come to the clan chief. From clan chief, you come to the town chief, and so on. So that's how they settle their government.
Oh, good. Also, we have Bassa people in Liberia. I know when President George Weah now, they went to Cameroon. I learned there were some Bassa people in Cameroon. Where are other Bassa people in Africa besides Liberia? And how are they related to the Bassa people in Liberia?
Well, the Bassa people that are in Cameroon, I got in touch with them one time, and because they wrote some gospel tract, and I saw it somewhere, and then I requested for it to be translated into the Liberian Bassa, and they said, "Oh, we already translated it in Bassa." I said, "I wonder how a Bassa man get there to translate the book, not knowing they translated it in their own Bassa." So I requested for more, and they sent me a lot of copies. So when I look at it, I could not read it because it's a completely different word. So they have the same name, but it's not the same kind of understanding. From Cameroon, then we have Bassa in Sierra Leone. There's about 10,000 Bassa people in Sierra Leone. We have Bassa people in Ivory Coast. We got some in Togo, but they get different names, even though they're taking the Bassa name.
Yeah, do you understand them when the language?
No. The one in Ivory Coast, you can understand it. The one in Sierra Leone are the same Bassa people in Liberia. They just went there and settled there, and they have that Bassa community. But in Ivory Coast, the Bassa people that are there, they call them the Wobe people. You understand them, but they are some different in pronunciation.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Let's go back to Liberia, where when the free slaves or the settlers came, I know there were Bassa people along the coast, so they met with Bassa. Tell me a little bit about the history of the early people with the Bassa people. Like you already mentioned King Bob Gray.
Yes.
So tell me about the interaction and how the Bassa people come to be, very much people that work with the free slaves.
Well, when the Bassa people, the first settlement of the Bassa people was in Masarauco County, and that was those people that are considered the Mamban people, and they gave them some negative name that they sold their own land for small fish and for all those things. That I mean, that news been circling around. I don't know exactly how true it is, but that's why we consider them to be the first Bassa group that came there. So from that particular Mamban Bassa, I think they were different groups of Bassa people that entered in Liberia. It was not just one Mamban people. Then after that, before they divided, so there was one group of Bassa people. But the Mamban, they speak the Mamban Bassa. Number 3. They speak the Central Bassa, and so on. In fact, because the Central Bassa is kind of clear and easy to understand, that's why when we're translating the Bible, That's the Bassa they use in the Bassa Bible.
Oh, okay. So Bob Gray.
Yes.
Do you know his Bassa name? Because I know that name was given to him. Is there any other name?
Yeah, I know it was given to him as a slave. I tried to get a name, but I never get it.
Okay.
Maybe you have it.
And the story about him that he used to carry water for the free slaves
Yes.
and all that. Is that true, or is there something later?
That's probably according to history. That's why
Okay.
that's what they said. So I think it's true.
Yeah. No, that should. What's the dominant religion among the Bassa people?
Christianity. Because when the Bassa people, there are a lot of Christian group that come from different countries that went there, and among the Bassa people, and they taught them, they trained them, and they became Christian. So, but even though the Christian is a higher religion among them, but they still maintain their traditional, worship that they used to do. Most of them they still do that.
Oh, okay. And like what?
Like, for example, the Bassa people have their own different gods. My father from Riverside, a place called Timor District, told me that the god that they used to worship is the river. There's one river there they call Timor River. And the Timor River, that's the one they used to worship. They kill cow and things and go and make a celebration, give sacrifices to that god. And they put it in a container, take it to the middle of the river. And when they come, they all stand at the edge of the river, jubilating and so on. As soon they continue, turn around and go down, that means the god has received their sacrifice, and they will be jumping up and down. So some of them doing it, they say doing it, but even though a little bit secret now, yes, because of Christianity.
And I know you mentioned earlier about education among the Bassa people.
Yes.
I know they had a form of education. Talk to me about that.
Yeah. Yeah, the education, they have a good educational program. The only problem is they change it, they change the name to Zoo, which means a kind of secret society. But in that the name is called Bush School. In that Bush School, they send the children to learn a lot of good things. There where the girls go and learn how to respect their husband and elderly people. The men learn how to set trap, how to shoot guns, not guns, but arrow and things. And after they have graduated from there, they become mature people. They learn wisdom. They learn the proverbs and things. And so they learn how to speak among people. And that's the kind of educational program they have, which they call the Poro and the Sunday Society.
How long does that take?
It takes about 1 to 2 years.
Okay.
Yes.
So there is a difference between the girls' school and the boys' school.
It's separated. The boys and girls cannot be in the same society. So the girls' school is called the Sunday Society, and the boys' school called the Poro.
From my research, it looked like the Bassa, first of all, are part of the choir or the crew speaking group.
Yes.
It looked like the Bassa should be the only choir speaking group that have the Poro and the Sunday.
Well, I don't think so. I think all of them have it.
Okay.
All of them have it.
All right. So they learn it, and how widespread is it now with the coming of Western education?
With their school?
Yes.
Well, some of them it's going down especially because of Christianity. Many of them they have learned the Word of God, and some of the things they reach in the call the place secret society. The main thing is it's a taboo to discuss publicly, and because of that, they feel that when they became Christian, they feel that it is not something for them to continue to practice. So most of them have left it already. So it's not as popular as it used to be. Good.
Let's talk about marriage and courtship among the Bassa people. I know that is done, even in traditional Bassa society and even now. What is the process?
Well, we have the traditional marriage of the Bassa people, and that's something they respect and the popular. I know about it more because I grew up with my dad in the village, and when I began to pick up, and some of his daughter or some nieces, some nieces that want to get married, if they invite him to go to do the ceremony and he don't have the time, he send me there. So I know. But the traditional wedding among the Bassa people before the modern days come.
Let's start with the dating and the courtship even before the marriage.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to.
Okay.
Okay. Before the modern days, if a Bassa man have a son, or Bassa family have a son, and already mature, before he get mature enough to get married, the parent will have already dated a little child from another village. The man who's going to get married, he's not the one who's supposed to look for his own wife, because the people have the belief that the parents, when they go around in villages and approach family, responsible family, people who are hard-working people and with wisdom and so on, the daughter from that family will follow their parents' footsteps. And because of that, the little child, they will start dating the little child and giving the parents some money and so on, that we want, when the child grow up, to marry our son. And that's where it is. And so now, in fact, they can choose the pregnancy while the child stay in the belly. So that's how they begin. And then when they begin there, they start giving things to the girl parents and so on until both of them grown up. After they have grown up and mature enough for them to get married, then the both parents come together and they have to take about 5 steps in the marriage. And the 5 steps, I think, first they will take 3 steps. Let me just list them. The first one is they have to, first it used to be like 25 cents when they have to put their hand on the shoulder of the girl on behalf of the young man, because the young man don't have anything to say. Only the parents or representative will be the one going through the process. The boy don't have anything to say. He will just sit down and watch them. So they take, right now it's $5 now. Take $5 to hang the hand on the shoulder of the girl so that no other man will put his hand on her shoulder anymore. Take another $5 and close the door so that no other young man will enter the girl's room until the girl room without the permission of the young man. And then after that, the parents of the boy had to pay the woman damage. They call it a woman damage. If the girl was a virgin before the young man slept with her, they had to pay $48. This time is double. But if it's not a virgin, the money is $40. Before, the dowry money is completely different. Then you pay another $40 for all of these amounts. They have been doubled right now because our money is not valuable anymore. Then they began, and 10 cents is a wedding ring. They had to exchange 10 cents, and because that 10 cents, after the woman have gone home, in fact, because the way they established the marriage, there is no room for divorce. But if both of them end up with divorce anyway, they got to return the 10 cents. If you don't return the 10 cents, I mean, the girl is still the wife of the young man.
So who keeps that 10 cents? Where is it kept to be returned?
It gets like the girls, the boy's parent will give 10 cents to the girl's parent, and the girl's parents pay another 10 cents, and the parents they are the one who kept the 10 cents.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We are discussing the Bassa ethnic group, the history and culture of the Bassa ethnic group, and their contribution to Liberia. With me tonight is Bishop Dr. Amos W. Gbaa. He's a church planter. He's also a Bassa translator. He has helped translate the Bible into Bassa. And he's here tonight discussing the history and culture of the Bassa ethnic group. At this time, we're going to take a short break. And when we come back, we're going to talk more about the Bassa script and more. We're also going to be asking our viewers that are watching us on television, either on YouTube or Facebook. You can call in. The number will be on the screen. And you can also send us your comments. Until then, we're going to be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Focus on Liberia. Here we discuss everything for and about Liberia. We try to promote, elevate, and educate all things Liberia. Tonight we are on the topic, the history and culture of the Bassa ethnic group and their contribution to Liberia. Discussing this, I have with me Bishop Dr. Amos Gbaa, who is in studio with me. He's a bishop, of course, a translator of the Bible to the Bassa language. He's also an author of many books. He's going to be displaying some of them tonight. But before the break, we were talking about the marriage among the Bassa people. And where we left off was when two young people are getting married. We also have an older person who's marrying someone, maybe has a second, third, or fourth wife. Talk to me about what the process looked like in the case of someone having many wives.
Well, the Bassa people, according to the tradition, they believe in polygamy. A polygamy is a man who married more than 1 to 2 wives. Some of them married 3 wives, 5 wives, 7 wives. It depends on how many wives you can support. And as I said, according to how they established the wedding, it was difficult for any divorce to be involved. But this time, it's happening very often. And in case if they have to divorce anyhow, the reason it was difficult for them to be divorced is that if the husband and the wife are in some kind of quarrel or conflict, the first thing the woman will do is run to her parents. And when she gets there, the parent will send for the boy's parents, and they will sit down again the same way they sat together during the wedding. And then they harmonize what was the conflict, and they put them back together. But in case it cannot work and they have to separate, that's the time they do the down exchanging. But you're talking about other people who are married first and divorced. They will look for another, before the wedding, before these days, the modern days, the elderly people marry the young girls. A 50 years old man can marry a 13 or 14 years old after she comes from the bush school. And they did that so that their daughter will marry to a responsible man, that in case they're having problem, for the elderly man to go and free them or help them on that. And that's how they used to do. But when they divorce, they marry again. It doesn't know they're married 2 times, 3 times, 4 times again after their first divorce.
And while they are still married, they can take on other wives.
Yes, that's why I talk about the polygamy.
Right.
They believe in marrying 2, 3, 4 wives. Depends on, as I said, how many wives they get for. And they have 3 reasons for that. The first reason is because the people, they believe they are people oriented. They believe in a lot of children. So if they have 1 wife, if the man has 1 wife, the wife may end up having only 3 children. And it will not come to the satisfactory.
I have 3 children. Are you talking about me?
No, I don't mean you. Even though you have only 3, and I told you that you had to do more work to catch up with me.
All right.
But they when they have 3, 4, 5 wives, they can have many children as they want. That's the first reason. The second reason is that they want the wives to help them with their farming, because they have large families, so they make big farm, and 1 woman cannot take care of the farm. The work of a native farm in a village is not easy. Where when they burn the farm, they got to spread the seeds and then take the hoe and scratch that hole. It could be 1 acre of land. For 1 woman to scratch it all over is not easy. So that's the second reason they married more than one wife. And the third one is when an elderly man in a town who is respectful and, you know, has some money or so on, some parents give their daughter to him free so that in case they have a problem, for that man to help them to take care of the problem. So because of the three reasons, they have many wives.
Oh, good. All right. Let's talk about the naming convention among the Bassa people. If you have your child, you give them a name.
Yes.
You know, how is that done, and what format do they follow?
Okay, well,
I know we got the Sunday guy, the Monday guy.
the people, like other different countries, they have the name according to the week. I don't know why the Bassa people start to only 3 days in a week. They get Sunday guy or Sunday ma. They get Monday guy. Then they get a Friday. And I think those are the 3 days. Yes, you can't. I haven't heard they many Wednesday or any Thursday or so on. But they just choose 3 days in a week, and that's how they give the name. The other way they can give name to the children is an event, any event that takes place. Like, for example, like a president get into, like the way Opon get into power in Liberia, any child that born that particular day, inauguration day, they may name the child Opon. Even though Opon is not Bassa name, but they need the child so that people will know, say, why they name the boy, say, well, that's the time Opon became president.
Okay.
That's some of the ways how they give their children names.
Bassa people also play some sports,
Yes.
especially in the traditional, setting. What are some of the games and the sports events of the Bassa ethnic group?
That is my area, and that is my problem. When I was coming out, man, we have a lot of good sports that we play in the villages. But civilization came, and only football, where the American people call soccer, is the only one that children know about in the villages now. But in the Bassa culture, they have a game called Siabare. They call Gbaa. They call Kre. They call, so many. Then Redo. In the evening, in the night, that one there. Then they have the
Describe Gbaa for me, because I like the name.
Okay. Gbaa is the thing that the Western people they call badminton.
Okay.
Where you can throw here and knock it back to the person. The Gbaa, there's a very light little tree that Bassa men call Gbaa for. They cut it about 3 or 4 inches and put the cutlass in the fire and smooth it both sides. Then they take chicken feathers and line it up, screw it inside the little stick and line it up. And then you have another a tree, a very light tree, I forgot the English name, but they call it dope. They would do it, they fix it in a way that it would get handle in your hand, and then the group of people will get on the other side, group will get on this side, you throw it to them, the other one knock it back. When you drop on your side, it's a goal for those people.
Okay.
And when time comes for them to play those games, all the young people in that town, the old people and so on, the same way they can do the football game.
Right.
They used to do that. But they stopped all that. So I've been praying to see to it that those things will come back in the system.
Right. Do you have some board games as well? The way we have checkers, Scrabble, do you have some board games among the Bassa people?
Well, we have what they call Bo.
That long thing with the hose
Yes,
on it.
with the
Right,
hole,
I think I've seen that.
Check it, yeah.
You're right.
Then they have the bamboo stick where you face a group, a bamboo stick, 4 of them, you put it on your shoulder when you do it like this and so on.
Right, I remember that in my village they call it putu.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Okay, so that's sports. Let's talk about in literature. I know Bassa people will have some proverbs, some parables, some legends, some folklores, and the
Yes.
rest of it.
Yes. I think that's why I brought these books. And one of them is the Bassa Proverbs. This one.
Okay.
I collected, there are so many of them. In fact, during the war, I collected 400 of them, but I traveled from bush to bush, running from rebels.
Right. Let's see if we can screen,
Yes.
if we can zoom on it.
With that, this is
So yeah.
130 proverbs in there.
Okay.
It's both in English and Bassa.
And it's called, okay, let's see if we can zoom in on this.
Yes. Okay, bring it down.
All right.
Then you read it down. Bring it down.
Okay. Good.
Up.
Thank you. So talk to me about these Bassa proverbs.
So this Bassa proverb is 130 proverbs I collected from and make it out of book. And for example, let me just read it. It say the one proverb in the book is you are responsible for your own trouble. Not much pity. You are responsible for your own success as well.
Oh, okay. So what's the general theme of the Bassa proverb? What are they trying to teach?
They are teaching wisdom. Like if somebody die, for instance, and people found out that the person he was the cause of your own death,
Right.
and people come for their body here, and then go back and want to explain. They say, Mr. Gbaa died, and you went there. What was it? That person will just give the proverbs,
Right.
and they will understand.
They will understand. Okay, so that's proverb. What about some folklores, some spider story, as we normally call them?
Okay, you get in the book here. This one called "Sida Yue Mazrue," out of knowledge is stupidity,
Okay.
and they have different stories in there.
Okay.
These stories, they can teach. In fact, one of the stories that are in this book, it has something to do with somebody who is lazy, don't want to learn at all. But the person who, another friend make an effort, and then both of them thought that they were late for them to go back to school. But the other one said, no, I had to try. The other sister tried hard and learned, and then completed high school and started working in the hospital. Her friend was sick now and went to the hospital. Guess who she met? Her friend who he told, said, don't tell me any education. My education business has expired ever since.
Right.
That's the person he met there.
Good. There's also a Bassa story I heard about that it doesn't end.
Yes.
What is that all about?
Well, they called it a never-ending tale, and Bassa man called it Yuankaju.
Okay.
This tale, the people who are the storyteller, they can tell you this story for a whole month. It will never end. And my father was one of the Yuankaju storyteller. In fact, I have it on a CD. I recorded it from him before he died. But it's a kind of where people say fairy tale. Maybe
right.
Yeah, you can compare with fairy tale. But every creature in this world that God created involved in that story. So, like, then you will know exactly when somebody talk about frog.
Right.
You will know what kind of thing frog used to do and where it come from.
Right.
You talk about
like the origin of frog.
Okay.
And the characteristics.
Of that.
Okay.
And that's and then which of them were warrior, was hero, was strong enough, and all that. And they always consider Sparta to be a man who want to be Mr. Know-all.
Right, very tricky.
Greedy as well.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Are there some Bassa legends? First, let's look at some Bassa heroes and warriors that you can recall.
Yes. One of them is this guy's father. I don't know, like a grandson, the guy who was a popular football player. He used to play with Opon Wia and that Salensa.
Salensa, James Diba.
Yes. That Diba means Deba. The English people change it to Diba. His father was Deba, and he was a great warrior. In fact, the Congo people used to be afraid of him. When you go to history. Then we have back home, where I come from in Riverside, there was a man that called Gallezon. Those were heroes of their time. Yes. So there are a lot of heroes in those days. But then, that's why when they born their children, they started practicing how to wrestle and so and be strong. But then when civilization came, police started arresting when they are fighting, when they are wrestling. So they stopped it. That's why you find a lot of lazy men these days.
Bassa people have a lot of songs.
Yeah.
Right. So when it comes to singing, what's the general theme that you can run through a lot of these songs that are in Bassa?
Well, there are some songs that are warriors, some songs to sing when we're doing war. There are some songs for love.
Okay.
There are some songs for happiness. And there are different, there are all these songs portray certain.
You have any example?
Okay. We have a Bassa traditional song that goes like this. You see, it starts with Mary because Mary is my wife. And not, okay. But they will take a girlfriend name and sing it in the song, and then they will say some things, how beautiful she is, how her legs is big, how plenty hair she get, and so on. That's how they.
Stay in literature. Let's talk about the Bassa script. I know they are, Bassa. I see some of your books that are in Bassa.
Yes.
How many alphabets? Talk to me about the Bassa script.
Okay. Well, I have a book here that says learning how to read and write Bassa. And in this book, this is a whole course, a 7-course something. After you've completed the 7 courses, you would have been able to read and write Bassa.
Even me?
Yes, even you.
Okay.
Whether you are Bassa, because when I was working with the missionaries, I taught them how to read and write Bassa, and they used to preach in Bassa on the pulpit. So I want to show you some alphabet of the Bassa, which is the since we changed the original script to International Phonetic. These are the vowels.
Okay. Let's practice.
Okay.
Those are all A's.
Yes. But the sound, the tune mark that on the head changes the sound.
Okay.
You see
A.
O.
That look like O or you.
This is we call the backward C, but it's called O.
O.
And it's not O.
Okay.
But because when you're writing the word, well, I don't know.
So how many vowels in Bassa?
There are 7 vowels.
How many consonants?
25 consonants.
25 consonants. That's rich.
The 7 vowels each has a sound.
Okay.
So there are 5 sounds on
each vowel.
Yes. And because if you write the same thing correctly, I'm sorry I don't have pen here, I'm going to write something good. If you write the thing 2 words, it can be the same spelling and same thing. But if the sound, the tone of mind change, then it's a complete different word. That's how it is. So That's how this is.
So these are books. Where can we find them if somebody want to buy them? Are they online or how can you get them?
Well, I try to put it online, but not yet. But people order it from me,
Okay.
from my address, and then they send the check and put my address in there, and I get their address and I send it back to them.
Okay. If you're watching, we have all these books in Bassa, especially the one that says learning how to read and write Bassa. You know, if you can order this, and how much?
This one is $15.
$15. Okay, and this is a whole course in Bassa.
Yes.
So during this course now, how do I call you if I'm stuck somewhere, or how is that?
It's not just this one. It's just not for sale.
Oh, okay.
If you register in the school.
Oh, okay. In the Bassa school.
Yeah, Bassa school on a telecommunication line. That's there where we have it.
Okay.
Then you can learn. You can have a copy, because when you complete this course, then you can teach others. But you can't just buy it. These are the ones you can just buy.
Okay, these are the ones that you buy. Okay.
And I have copyright of all of them, that nobody can copy it until I give you permission.
That's wonderful. That's very good. All right, let's come to Bassa people. What are they known for, and what is their contribution to Liberia? All this writing and everything. Today, if you say Bassa, what Bassa people are known for?
Well, you see, the Bassa people are lawyer, formal and informal lawyer. I remember when I was growing up in the village, if a Bassa man say, Gbaa, he said, you and myself will own it. If you did something to him, he said, you and myself own it. Most of the time, they don't used to have lawyer. They don't used to have lawyer. They plead their own case in court until when the Congo people started, influencing them, and they carry a go to them and they plead law. But they are lawyer. And people say, Bassa people, they are chief cook. That's what they learn. And the men in Bassa cooking is not a man's job. But the men cook, they learn how to cook for money, for their living. Yes. So those are some of the
How that got started?
With the cook?
Yes, with them Bassa people cooking for money has a form of job.
Well, I don't know how it started, but every Bassa man that I work with, like from the ship, when ship used to come and travel, they hired these Bassa men to be the cook in the ship for the people. And then after the ship business, going their way, they started, what they learned, they started practicing cooking for the Lebanese man, or cooking for the American people, and so on. A Bassa man will not go to school or don't know how to read and write, but any kind of recipe you give, you will do well with that.
So generally, Bassa people, when it comes to their contribution to Liberia, what will you say about, what will you think of the?
Well, they are chief, and they can contribute by investigating cases. And
their music too is good.
Oh yes, well, I forgot that one. That's what one of the main things. Bassa people can sing. And their song, as I said, they have love song, they got different that kind of song. If you go to Buchanan right now, there are a lot of CD there where all the Bassa kids are growing up. In fact, my last son is a musician. He going from state to state singing for wedding and other things. So that's a gift that God gave the Bassa people.
Bassa too is I know our time is slowly drawing down, and if you are online, please send all your comments. We'll be able to read them, or if you have questions, you can call the number 404-300-3125. So also the Bassa people, let's talk about some of the food. I know I invent like fufu. Is it a Bassa thing or?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the food that Bassa people like or they might have introduced to Liberia.
Yes, fufu is a Bassa thing, even though people have the I don't know, they got they copy it from the Bassa people and have it imported in a pack and thing and so on that we eat here.
Right.
But the fufu comes from cassava.
Right.
And what the people usually do, they take the cassava, peel it good, put it into the creek, put it in the water.
Yeah.
It stay there 2, 3, 4 days. They take it and it becomes soft and they pound it in the mortar and then they have it fixed for fufu. And the Bassa food, the major food in Bassa is rice. The second thing is cassava, which they can make out of domboy, they make it out of fufu, they make it out of buimu, which is cut the cassava into pieces and they just eat it with any sauce that way. And then we got the edos and sweet potato and yam. Those are the Bassa people food.
Okay, that's good. Also, even though we don't promote stereotype, but there are other things they say about Bassa people stereotype. They call them names. I don't know if you can bring us some and use this forum to dispel them or explain to us their origin, how they came about them. What is the real story?
Well, one other thing that the negative stereo that the people used to talk about is Bassa people can steal. That's a name they used to give the Bassa people. But you know, William V. Tubman, our former president, late president, he took that away from them. Because each time a parliament or group of men like you were after he had stolen something, they arrested him and came to the police station. He said, "What tribe?" He said, "Bassa." Always. Yeah, that's what they used to do because they feel that Bassa people can steal. So Tubman went and carried pot. And he know that the other tribe don't know how to call pot, the Bassa name for pot. So when they ask you, what is your tribe? And you come from Gbaa tribe, or you say, I'm Bassa, you say, what's the name of pot in Bassa? They say, Gbaa. And the Bassa man called it Gia. But instead of Gia, because they don't know how to pronounce it, they say Gia. They say, Toba will say, no, you're not Bassa.
Yeah, I think we have a caller on the line. So let's go on the line and see. Caller, your name and where you calling from.
My name is Amos George, and I'm calling from Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, Amos, your question or comments?
I have a question and a comment. My first question has to do with when was the first Bible printed for the Bassa people?
Oh, okay, and your comments before so that Dr. Bach can come in.
Yeah, okay, and in Idana, which one of the group of Bassa people that settled in Idana? And then, and the third one is, what is the difference between the Bassa that are found in Kokoya? How you refer to those Bassa people that are in Kokoya, Bon County?
All right, thank you, Amos. So, Bishop, you heard that what are the Bassa people found in Indiana? The Bassa people in Kokoya, we call them. And then Amos also want to know the Bassa Bible, when was it first translated?
Well, according to history, I didn't see that, but I believe because I saw a rating when I was making research, it says in the year 1922, the first Bible was translated. But I don't see it, I don't know about it. But the one that I know of is the one where an American lady called, who was a missionary for Inland Church, the first New Testament, she was the one with a group of Bassa people translated for the New Testament. Jones Hubley, that's her English name, but the Bassa people gave her name, they call her Foma. So after that New Testament was published, then we came in with the missionary, and we translated the Bible, the whole entire Bible, and that's why we have both the Old Testament and the New Testament together. John Hubley translated, the translation was in the 70s. Our translation was 2005, and it was published. So that's when and how the Bible was translated. Now, the second,
Indiana and Cocoa.
Indiana, there's, you see that there was a Congo settlement where the people that came from America, we call the American Liberians, that was the first place they settled. So, and then they started intermarrying. They married some Bassa people and then have children with the Bassa women them, and then they settled there. They are Bassa, but most of them are half Bassa and half Congo. In the Kokoya is a place where it's supposed to be a Bassa place where that's surrounded by Gbaa, Pele, Mana, and so on. So the same thing, same intermarriage went on, and they are in a boundary, like a boundary or border of these different languages. So they speak Gbaa, they speak Pele, they speak Mana, they speak Bassa. So they are not 100% Bassa, but we call them Bassa, the Kokoya Bassa.
All right. Thank you, Amos, for that. Before, there's a question here on how can we order your books, the address. So if you're listening, let me give you the bishop phone number and email. Then you're able to contact him and get details. The phone number is 423-617-9033. If you contact Bishop Gbaa through this number, you're going to get details about how to order. Again, the number is 423-617-9033. Or you can reach him via email, bishopamosgbaa@gmail.com. Again, bishopamosgbaa, Gbaa is Gbaa, @gmail.com. So Bishop, I know you are in America now, and then are there some Bassa organizations, even in Liberia here, and what are they all about?
Okay, there are a lot of Bassa organizations here. In fact, a friend of mine and myself, we came here, we were a member of a mass choir group in Liberia called the JCCA, Joint Christian Choir Association. And when he came first, he and myself were working with EAWA. His name is Olismo G.S. Gaiman. That's a popular name among the Bassa people because he used to do the Bassa announcement. And he came here, and then he established the JCCA, and it's a